The First Kingdoms. Political developments 600 to 321 BCE. The 6th century BCE is regarded as a major turning point in the history of India. It was the time which saw the emergence of new and powerful kingdoms and cities and growth of diverse thoughts like Buddhism and Jainism. Tribal societies called Jana began to live a settled life and practiced agriculture. The use of iron implements for agriculture resulted in surplus production. It led to increased economic prosperity, which in turn instilled in the people the desire to expand further. The settlements gradually grew in size and came to be known as Janapadas. The Janapadas that gained more importance and power came to be called as Mahajanapadas. Each of the Janapadas comprised several villages, a few towns, and cities. People's loyalty shifted from their tribes or Jana to their Janapada, that is, the territories to which they belonged. The Vedic, Jain, and Buddhist literature of the 6th century BCE provides the proof of existence of the 16 Mahajanapadas. The Mahajanapadas. The Mahajanapadas were the republics ruled by kings who used to inherit the throne, while some of them were democratic republics and ruled by representatives who were nominated by the people. Example, the Lichavis and the Shakyas. Most of these Mahajanapadas were located to the north of the Vindhyas. During this era, the political history of India was full of clashes and conflicts for supremacy. The Anguttara Nikaya, a Buddhist text, lists the 16 Mahajanapadas as under Mahajanapadas and their capitals Anga and its capital Champa, Ashmaka and its capital Potli, Avanti and its capital Ujjaini, Chedi and its capital Suktimati, Gandhara and its capital Takshila, Kamboj and its capital Rajapura, Kashi and its capital Kasi, Kosala and its capital Shravasti, Kuru and its capital Indraprastha, Magadha and its capital Rajagriha, Malla and its capital Kushinagar, Matsya and its capital Viratnagara, Panchal and its capital Ahichatra, Surasena and its capital Mathura, Vajji and its capital Vishali, Vatsa and its capital Kosambi. Monarchies. Most of the Mahajanapadas were monarchies in which the head of the state was a monarch or a king. He was a hereditary ruler with the throne passing from father to son. The king's position was made strong because he had a large army and diverse sources of revenue. For example, Magadha and Avanti. Republics. The republics were ruled by a group of powerful people elected by the common people of a republic. Kingship was not hereditary and all decisions were taken democratically. Shakyas and Lichavis were the important republics of the 6th century BC. Vajji. with its capital at Vaishali, Bihar, was a republic. The republic was called Gana or Sangha. In the Gana or Sangha, there were many rulers. They were all called Rajas. These Rajas met in assemblies and took all decisions through discussion and debate. However, women, dasas, and kamakaras could not participate in these assemblies. Both Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, and Mahavira, the founder of Jainism, belonged to these republics. Such republics show how, from the very ancient times, a primitive form of democracy prevailed in India. Difference between monarchies and republics. Number 1. In the monarchies, the kings claimed the revenue or tax from the peasants. In the republic, tax was claimed by the entire ruling group. Each member of the ruling group called himself a Raja and claimed a share of the revenue. Number 2. In the monarchy, only the king maintained a regular army, whereas in a republic, every Raja had his own independent army. Number 3. Monarchies were ruled by a single monarch who was the sole decision maker, whereas republics functioned under the care of assemblies which were controlled by a group of powerful people. Powerful kingdoms. Out of the 16 Mahajanapadas, only 4 emerged as powerful kingdoms. They were Vatsa, Kosala, Avanti, and Magadha. Out of these 4, only Magadha became the supreme kingdom. Magadha comprises modern day Patna and Gaya district. According to the Puranas, Vatsa was named after a Kashi king, Vatsa. It was situated in the Gangetic plain with Kosambi as its capital. Avanti relates to present-day Malwa region. It was divided into 2 parts by the Vindhyas. Kosala laid roughly with the region of Awadh. It emerged as a small state in the later Vedic period. By the 6th and 5th centuries BC, its cultural and political might made it a great power. Magda had under its influence modern districts of Patna, Nalanda, Gaya, Aurangabad, and parts of Bengal. It had a strategic location. Ganges in the north, River Champa in the east, River Son in the west, and Vindhya range in the south bounded the kingdom. Jainism strengthened here and Buddhism saw its rise in Magadha. Mighty Kingdom of Magadha. Causes of the rise of Magadha. A. Strategic location. The Ganges and the Son enriched Magadha and provided a natural barrier against the enemy. Rajgriha, the capital, was surrounded by 5 hills. The new capital, Patliputra, was also flanked by the Ganges, Son, and Gandak. B. Mighty and ambitious rulers. Magadha had a successive line of ruling dynasties. Rulers were outstanding conquerors, strategists, and diplomats. C. Reservoir of natural resources. The river Ganga made the land fertile. Iron ore was used to make weapons. D. International trade. Magadha had excellent trade relations with countries of Southeast Asia, which increased its prosperity. E. Efficient army. Magadha had a vast, well equipped army which helped in expanding the empire to the distant areas. Magadha flourished to a great extent under the Haryanka dynasty. Some of the important rulers of this dynasty were Bimbisara, Ajatashatru, Udayan, etc. Life in the Mahajanapadas. Administration. Most of the Mahajanapadas had a capital which was protected by huge walls of wood, brick, or stone built around it. Forts were built to protect the people from the attack by the enemy kingdoms. The king was advised by the priest or purohit and assisted by the ministers or amatyas. In matters of war and defense, he was assisted by the army commander or senapati. The king maintained large and well equipped armies. Soldiers were paid regular salaries by their kings throughout the year. Agriculture. Majority of population in Janapadas and Mahajanapadas practiced agriculture. It was during this time that the use of iron plowshare increased. Now, the soil could be easily turned over. Farmers also started transplanting paddy. Earlier, they scattered seeds in the fields. Now, the saplings were grown and then planted in big fields. This further increased production. Dasas and kamakaras were employed in transplanting saplings in the fields. Revenue, taxes. To maintain the big state and the large army, the king collected taxes regularly. Taxes were paid by the farmers, artisans, craftsmen, and traders. Taxes could be paid both in cash and kind. Taxes on crops were the most important because farming was the main occupation. Generally, the tax was fixed at about one-sixth of the total produce. Craftsmen used to pay taxes in the form of free labor to the king. There were taxes on goods bought and sold. Pastoral people pay taxes in the form of animal and animal produce like milk or ghee. Even hunters and forest dwellers gave forest produce as taxes. Trade and commerce. Towns developed into the centers of trade and commerce. Merchants and artisans lived in these towns. The traders and craftsmen formed their associations which looked after the interest of the particular groups. These associations were called shrenis. Trade and commerce flourished in this period due to the introduction of money. Metal coins made of silver and copper were introduced. These are called punch marked coins because these metals were punched with images such as tree, fish, bull, elephant, etc. The introduction of money economy led to the growth of trade and commerce. Society. Social setup remained similar to the later Vedic period. Caste system was followed. Women enjoyed some liberty and were held in high esteem. The girls were free to choose their husbands. People mostly lived in villages. Marriage within one's caste was generally preferred. Yet, there was no bar to intercaste marriage.